Tomorrow night in Vancouver, Wayne Gretzky skates onto the ice, the richest man in hockey. And with that tag on him, there'll be a lot of critical eyes in the weeks and months to come. Coming up,
until yesterday, there was no doubt that Wayne Gretzky was underpaid. But today the questions begin, is the kid worth that $20 million package? Standing by in Toronto is Peter Zosky, author of The Game of Our Lives, a book about a season with Wayne Gretzky's Edmonton Oilers. In Hamilton, Ontario, veteran sports writer and sports director of CHCH Television, Dick Beddoes. Dick, you've been saying some nasty things about Gretzky. Are you ready to eat your words?
I would never eat any words, especially in the presence of yourself and Mr. Zosky. You said a moment ago, Barbara, that you thought Mr. Gretzky was underpaid up till yesterday. I make the point he's been overpaid and overpraised like every modern athlete today, and today's story about $20 million for 15 years is utterly outrageous. Nobody is worth that, especially a hairy-legged hockey player from Brantford, Ontario.
His legs aren't very hairy, Dick, and he's the best hockey player that is certainly on the market right now, as even you have to admit.
He's not the best hockey player, in my view, Peter. Now, you have a vested interest. You've written a book. I haven't done that. The fact is, the best hockey player I've seen this year is Sergei Shepelev of the Soviet Union.
Well, Dick, if you'll phone him up, I think Peter Pocklington will give him $30 million for the next 15 years.
You're joking, of course.
Yes, I am.
That Shepelev, Peter, is the best hockey player. We're subjective. I've seen
get
this
off it,
year.
Dick. You're making a crusade out of trying to dump on someone that the nation has fallen in love with. The kid is the greatest hero of early 1982. Everyone else is having a good time and celebrating him, and you're being a well-dressed sourpuss in Hamilton, Ontario, with one note to play.
I'm dumping on him. That's untrue. What I've said is, Peter, let's have him carry his class over 15 or 30 years like Gordie Howe.
Dick, he will. He will if you'll wait for him.
Let's not elevate him then as to, in the third year of his professional career, to super status. That's all I've said, and he's playing in, as you even should recognize...
Of course I do.
...a diluted era of hockey. That's all I've said. And I've said, Peter, if you can pay some attention, that I wish that he was part of the hockey team I own part of, the Maple Leafs. I wish he had him in Toronto. I have not dumped on him. I've just said, let's get our comparisons in some sort of order. Let's not all jump on the bandwagon. When he fails, you guys will all be breaking your ankles jumping off the bandwagon.
All right, I got to ask Peter about the deal itself.
Yeah.
What is Pocklington's calculation? What's in his arithmetic? Behind the hype, what's he really thinking about that much money?
When I first set out to write the book, and at my very first meeting with Peter Pocklington, I said, Peter, how do you explain this to your board of directors? Does Gretzky bring back in cash what you're paying him now? That's when he was making about $150,000 a year. Pocklington looked at me with his piercing blue eyes and said, I don't have a board of directors, which is answer number one. Peter Pocklington's sort of like a king, and he likes to grant enormous favors to people who are part of his life. Gretzky's a very important part of his life, and I think that's part of it. It probably isn't very good business, but everyone's thoroughly enjoying it, including Peter Pocklington.
Well, what he does have, Barbara, with $20 million over 15 years, including a shopping center and real estate in Edmonton, he's got more money than Poland. He could buy all of Alberta, Nova Scotia, and Sable Island, but he doesn't. He couldn't buy Canada. Some countries still have more money than Wayne Gretzky.
But I guess what I'm thinking is the payment going to be so deferred that by the time he's paying in inflation dollars, it's really a cheaper deal than it looks tonight? It seems extraordinary.
First of all, as Barbara, as even Dick Beddoes knows, these hockey contracts are always announced at their very top dollar. That's contingent on a lot of things, winning a lot of Stanley Cups, winning a lot of trophies, both of which I think the kid and his team will probably do. But that's the very top. The other part of it is, as Dick knows, we're talking about showbiz here. This kid draws people to arenas like no one has probably since Howie Moran's. He just drew the largest crowd in NHL history, and of all places, Detroit. He does bring people in. He sells an awful lot of tickets. He attracts a lot of attention, including this evening's on the Journal. Sure, he's worth it. He's worth anything they can give him.
Dick, what about that? He did that trick of 50 goals that you're only supposed to do in 50 games. He did it in 39?
He did it in 39 games,
what do you
Barbara.
want from a hockey player?
Well, what I want from him, if we're going to make comparisons, is that he might score some year 44 goals in 20 games, like the late Phantom Joe Malone did in 1918, also in the National Hockey League. He hasn't done that. And Barbara, one more point. He, in fact, did get 50 goals in 39 games, but he got 33 of those against teams that are stiffs in the National Hockey League.
He got 5 on the last night to tie the record against the Philadelphia Flyers.
And Bobby Clark said we were obscene.
Dick, you really are. You said last year around this time, a little later, you said that the kid could not have made third-string center on one of the Toronto Maple Leaf teams in the 1960s.
Just a minute.
You said it.
What I said, Peter, was that he couldn't make third-string center, in my view, as I've told you before in interviews, on the great Maple Leaf teams that won 4 Stanley Cups in 5 years.
Listen, you guys, you've got 20 seconds to sort this one out.
Okay, I have to say that after the kid got his 50th goal in 39 games, Rocket Richard said that even in his day, the Rockets, he would have been the leading scorer in the league, and I think that has something to do with people who are trying to
Rocket
downplay
said
him
that
right now.
he said that in English language. In French language, he said he could not carry my jockstrap.
Okay, you two.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you both.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Barbara and Dick.
See you, Peter.
See you, Dick.